Alright, third match. Yeah. So this was also a pretty easy keep. Also, this is where Force Negation can really potentially be good because, again, it declunkifies the deck, and immediately it looks like the opponent is on Ad Nauseam. And Ad Nauseam, as explained in a previous league, is actually a pretty good matchup for Merfolk. The reason being that we have main deck answers to their combo. Particularly the Force Negation build, I think, is even stronger than the Chalice version. So what we did here is we could have counted the Friction in Life, but I think, like I previously explained, it's just too bad if they've got another copy. Plus they've got this plus Angel's Grace. What we're really looking to do is we're looking to counter Ad Nauseam itself. They usually don't play Pact of Negation in the main. Usually only one copy if they do, so that they can protect their Lightning Storm after they combo off. After they will see their entire deck. It's very unlikely that they'll have it, even if they do have a one-of copy. So yeah, so that's what the plan is. That's their card they have the least copies of, and yeah. So also we did attack with the Smuggler's Copter by using Fairy Conclave to crew. That's the first time I think that happened. We couldn't really do anything else, and that definitely shows one of the advantages of Fairy Conclave. Can't remember why I did not play a Silvergill Adept and attack, but it probably was because I wanted to force a negation. Oh yeah, because they have their they have Ad Nauseam. Right, actually, they might have actually had a, yeah, that's what it was. They had the ability to play Ad Nauseam last turn, and I'm pretty sure they do have it. So it's very important that we keep, because they can combo off at instant speed. So it's very important that we have 3 mana open at all times, and that's why we can start going aggressive again once we have 3 mana. Now we could have played Merfolk Trickster at end of turn, but we didn't because we wanted to reveal it with Silvergill Adept. But yeah, this turn I believe we do play Smuggler's Copter, or we do play Merfolk Trickster, I mean, because yeah, because we can use Spreading Seas to pitch. Yeah. And yeah, here I made actually a minor mistake because I actually could have attacked with Fairy Conclave as well and put them down to 0. It wouldn't have won the game, but it would have. They did go for their Ad Nauseam here, and in response to my yeah. Actually, might not have had enough mana for it anyway. But I played a second Smuggler's Copter, so yeah. I mean, minor misplay. It ended up not mattering, but yeah, getting them down to 0 life would have set me up to win next turn. So minor misplay there, but then again, there is something to be said about keeping them off black. They did have the Lotus Bloom, so yeah. All right. All right. So I do think that this hand is pretty good. It has 2 pieces of disruption. They're not necessarily the best disruption, but you can't exactly hope for that much better than this. And yeah, Chalice on 1, like I've explained before, it's usually better because it actually shuts off half their combo, and it actually shuts off their Spoils of the Vault, which is another possible part of their combo. It's actually quite a beating, and 0 is only better under 2 conditions. Either if there's a lot of Lotus Blooms and it looks like they're going to be very choked on mana playing it on 0, or if you basically the only way you can lose is if, or one of the most likely ways you lose, is if you're looking at a possible ad nauseam with force of negation backup, force of pact of negation backup, as we saw in a previous league. Otherwise, Chalice on 1 is very strong, and of course here we get to have our Chalice on 0 instead. Yeah. I mean, in addition, so here, because I do have the force negation as well, I do deprive the Phyrexian on life, just because it does help me win the game quicker, and yeah, and I still have the ability to counter basically anything they play, including another unlife. So that's a situation where I will counter unlife. Notice how they did have 2, though. They might have had 2 the last game. But of course, when I have 2 counter spells and my clock lines up almost perfectly, if I can counter both of theirs, and I've got Chalice countering the other half of the combo that doesn't involve friction on life, yeah, that's where I feel pretty confident about it being correct to just counter friction on life. So, yeah. All right, game 3. Let's see how this game progressed. This was a keep, I'm pretty sure, because even though it's not perfect, it has disruption, and the Smokeless Copters are so good because they just take this very clunky hand and they make it they dig us toward what we need. I actually think going back to Smuggler's Copter may have been something that makes my Merfolk experience overall much more much more smooth. I always did like it, but like I explained, there was just times where there was a lot of powerful graveyard hate. I don't see any Ancient Grudges basically running out anymore, and Stony Silence has been nowhere to be seen for a long, long time since Affinity has basically dropped out. Yeah, so I like my position here. I do want to draw another land because I am getting vulnerable to an end of turn ad nauseam. But the good news is that I've got a pseudo counter to an end of turn ad nauseam in the form of Brazen Borrower's Petty Theft, and this is one reason why I like Brazen Borrower as opposed to another. As opposed to Repeal, nowadays at least, I think that's what I'm going to be on. I did bounce I used Petty Theft to bounce the Correction on life and end of turn, and the main reason why was I'm just getting very, very nervous about an end of turn ad nauseam. If they ad nauseam and they Pactum Negation backup, it's just too backbreaking, and I am not able to play all my counter spells to be able to stop that. So for that reason alone, I do bounce it, and it does. And I have so many counter spells now that I think I do try to counter it on the way down again for the same reason as last time. That's not always correct, but here because yeah, and they try to and well, just like last game, I was able to counter 2 Phyrexian Unlifes in a row, this time on the same turn, and I was also able to counter a Veil of Summer. Yeah, I had a lot of counter magic, and I have exactly 6 damage because of Smuggler's Copter. I can crew it and attack with that and Merfolk Trickster. So yeah, this has generally been my experience playing against ad nauseam with Merfolk. I remember for a while there used to be a player named like Stinky Pete or something like that, and yeah, I think he was a pretty good player. I remember him being at the top of the leaderboards several times, but I do remember in the past a lot of my wins with Merfolk were against him playing ad nauseam. Definitely the less powerful version than this one. I do think it's improved quite enough, but we got a huge improvement in the form of force negation. So I think we were favored back then, and we're probably favored by about the same now, because they got new tools, but we did too, thankfully. Yeah. All right.